Back here at Rick Wood Field, it's game 2 of the doubleheader in this 3-game series between Edward Waters and Miles. Miles took the L in the first game, dropping a 5-1 decision to the Tigers of Edward Waters. I'm A.A. Moore, glad to have you with us here as Miles tries to bring an end to what has now become an 8-game losing streak. It's been quite some time since Miles has dropped that many in a row. Trying to get on the positive side here if you're the Golden Bears. We'll go through the lineups here quickly. First for Edward Waters. Daniel Donaldson Fountain is the leadoff hitter. He's going to play center field. Dannon Smith will hit second and play shortstop. Batting third, Luis Rodriguez will play first base. The cleanup hitter will be Calvin Scott. He's the designated hitter today. Batting fifth, third baseman Andres Caracciolo. Batting sixth in right field, Agarius Johnson. Batting seventh, the second baseman Luis Nunez. Batting eighth, the catcher Joseph D. Cesare. And batting ninth will be the left fielder Jordan Smith, and doing the pitching will be Helson Cabrera. Leadoff walk there by Daniel Donaldson Fountain. For the Golden Bears, Trey Spann will lead off and be the designated hitter. Michael Smith will hit second and play in left field. Batting third, Elijah Anderson. He's at shortstop, and the cleanup hitter will be third baseman Caleb Roston. Batting fifth, the first baseman Greg Willis, and Trey Walker will hit sixth and play in right field. Batting seventh, the second baseman Malachi Jeffries. And batting eighth will be the catcher, Landon Whitehead, as the bunt is laid down. Good sacrifice. As the throw over to first for out number one. Miles Wessels will hit ninth and play in center field. Daryl Johnson is on the mound for the Golden Bears. He's the one who made the play there at first base. So runner on second. After the Dannon Smith sacrifice. And this time it'll be Willis returns the favor to Johnson to get Donaldson Fountain over to third base. That'll bring up Calvin Scott. Scott went 2 for 3, walked twice, scored twice in game 1. First pitch in for a strike. And we talked about the Golden Bears and their struggles scoring runs. They've got one of their best pitchers on the mound here in this game to try to prevent Edward Waters, one of the top hitting teams in the SIAC, from going to work again. Good breaking pitch in there for a strike, and he's ahead 0-2. Johnson has mostly been a multi-inning reliever, although he got the start against Savannah State last weekend. He's 3-2, and this is his 14th appearance, his 4th start, and 34 2/3 innings pitched. He's got 45 strikeouts. The ERA is at 6.23. That's more of a condition of a couple of tough outings. When he pitched on Sunday against Savannah State, he went 5 2/3, giving up 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Well, look at the depth on that breaking pitch. Johnson's a junior from Sacramento. In his 13 appearances, he's got multiple strikeouts in 10 of them. The 1-1 out to short center, and it's going to fall. In fact, it was the 2-2. And Calvin Scott is at it again. RBI single, drives in Daniel Donaldson Fountain. And it's 1-0, Edward Waters. Calvin Scott has been a whole problem today for the Golden Bears. And here's Cariciolo. Fastball in for ball 1. Miles just with 1 run in the opener. Now over the last 8 are averaging less than 2 runs a game. Big swing and miss there by Cariciolo. And when you think about an inability to score runs overall, you think about the inability to score runs in bunches. That's how you put pressure on teams. Miles has had exactly 2 multi-run innings as Scott takes off and steals second base. Whitehead seemed to have caught a little bit of that backswing as Scott steals second. Count full here to Cariciolo. And that's going to be in the dirt for ball 4. Legarius Johnson did not play in the first game, but gets the start here. In right field, comes in hitting .305, 4 homers, driven in 24. .305, 412, 526 on the slug. Fouls the first pitch off. Johnson trying to work out of a jam here. Runners on first and second. 2 gone, 1 already in for the Tigers. Good breaking ball again for strike 2. One, two here from Johnson. Runner take off, and that's going to be inside. He didn't look. Seen that happen now here a couple of times. Pitcher's not looking the runners back. Calvin Scott had an easy move into third, and Cariciolo came right behind him, said, hey, this is an easy stolen base for me. Counts 2-2. you're struggling like Miles, some of these opportunities you have to make for yourself, but also you have to limit the extra opportunities for other teams. Swing and a miss. And that will retire the side for Edward Waters. In the first, 1 run, 1 hit. There were no errors and 2 runners left on base. We've played half an inning. Edward Waters, 0. Miles coming up here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Back here at historic Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama on the west side. Miles trails 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Trace Spann, Michael Smith, and Elijah Anderson all leading off against Edward Waters, the starter here in game 2, Helson Cabrera. This is his 9th game of the season, his 8th start. First pitch is in for a strike. Cabrera is 3-2 with an 8.16 ERA. He's got 29 strikeouts in 32 innings pitched, but he also has 20 walks. And yet he pumps the first 2 in for strikes. Spann reached base a couple of times in the first game. Two-out RBI single has Edward Waters. As Spann fouls that off, has Edward Waters in the lead, 1-0. The 1-2. Right back to Cabrera. Easy toss over to first for the first out. Bring up Michael Smith. Went 1 for 4 with a double in the first game. Sophomore from Mobile. Hitting .274. That one is a single right back up the box. And Smith is aboard with 1 out. Smith had that average as high as 340 earlier this year, but in the last couple of weeks, along with the rest of the team, the average has dipped down just a bit. Got a couple of knocks here. They're being in a bit of a slump. Now we'll keep an eye on the stolen base possibility. 27 of 30. On the stolen base department for Michael Smith. Anderson got the start at first base in the opener. He's playing shortstop here today. He went 0 for 4. Reached on an error, scored the only run of the game for the Golden Bears in the opener. Another miss there by Cabrera. Talked about in the first game, not a lot of left-handed bats for the Golden Bears, but Anderson does give Miles someone from the left side. Paying a lot of attention to Michael Smith. That ball is going to be right into the glove of Nunez. Fires to Smith at second, over to first for the double play, and that will retire the side. Golden Bears get a hit. Watch it erase on a double play. We've played one. It's Edward Waters 1, Miles 0. Top of the second here from historic Rickwood Field. Oldest ballpark in America. Luis Nunez. Evens up the count. Nunez had a big at-bat in that 6th inning where Edward Waters took the lead in game 1, swing and a miss. And he didn't do anything but take 4 balls. I think Coach Barney did not necessarily want to pitch to him, knowing that you had the catcher who was on deck, Cesare. There's another one opposite way. Caleb Roston gets it over for out number 1. They didn't want to pitch to him because they had a batter who was hitting 100 points lower than Nunez coming to the plate. And unfortunately, after getting ahead 0-2, he got walked. And that just kind of set the stage. It loaded the bases. And next thing you know, Edward Waters is back on top. First pitch swinging, ground ball to Roston. If you hit it over to third base here for the Golden Bears, you're going to be in a bit of trouble because chances are he's going to make the play and get the out. Jordan Smith comes to the plate. He's the one with the big hit in that 6th inning. Down 0-2. He singled to center, and this time he's going to get hit by the pitch and get on first base. But it was his 2-run single to center that put Edward Waters ahead for good. Never am I one to say that someone got thrown at on purpose. I don't believe that was the case here, but sometimes you just got to let them know. Won't be any of that silliness this game. But there's a lot of games still to go, so there's ways to get even. And now Smith has to run a little bit. Maybe didn't feel it until he got over to first base. He certainly didn't try to move out of the way. It wasn't a fastball. But in any other way, I imagine he's all right. Takes the lead off of first, 12 of 15 in the stolen base department. 2 outs, runner on. Johnson already over 30 pitches. A lot of times you expect strikeout guys to get the pitch count up there, but you don't want to see them throwing a lot of balls. You want to see them filling up the strike zone, maybe getting foul balls even. I'm going to say that was a strike, but Jordan Smith is going to steal second. Another runner in scoring position. Look how big a lead Smith has off of second base. Could almost walk over to third. Look where Jordan Smith is. And he throws it into center field. That was the idea, to kind of see if they could catch Jordan Smith sleeping a little bit. And instead, Johnson kind of looped it over to second base, and it just sailed right into center field. Count 1-2. Big swing and miss. And so the failed pickoff does not come back to hurt the Golden Bears. Hit batter, an error, runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the second. Edward Waters 1, Miles 0. You're watching Golden Bears baseball on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Back here at Rickwood Field, Miles trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the second. A.A. Moore, D. Jackson, super producer extraordinaire, and apparently someone who doesn't get too involved in sorority politics. Kayla Roston leads off in the bottom of the second, takes first pitch for a strike. I talked with Caleb in between games, and he feels like this team is close. They just need to kind of string a couple of hits together and get a bit of an offensive breakout going, and things will be right back to where they were earlier this season. And this happens to teams, throughout seasons. You have some ebbs and flows. It's rare that the team stays all the way up or one really is all the way down. It's just been very glaring, and he took the positive side of it, which was, hey, we gave up 26 a couple of games ago. We only gave up 5 this game. So he sees it coming back for the Golden Bears, and hopefully he's right. In fact, they're going to say that was a swing and a miss. So it didn't come back in this at-bat. And it'll be out number 1 and bring up Greg Willis. It was many years ago that I played baseball, and you find yourself in these doubleheader situations where you have to pitch one of the games and then go out and play in the field in another one of the games. And for me, I always wanted to pitch the second game, believe it or not, because ideally you would think that you're more tired having played the first game. But I just always looked at it as, I know I'm going to pitch. I'd hate to go out there and maybe not have the best outing that I wanted to have. And then now I got to go play another 7 innings or 9 innings or whatever it would be. So let me just go ahead and play the first game, and then in the second game I'll go out there and pitch, knowing that when I'm done pitching, I'm probably done for the day. So, and there were a lot of early hooks, D. I'll tell you that much. Swing and a miss. Willis down on strikes. Back-to-back strikeouts by Cabrera to start the second. Bring up Trey Walker. Another thing about teams not being able to score runs is that each at-bat sometimes can feel like you've got to do it yourself. First pitch misses outside, and And hopefully that's not what's happening with Miles. If you string together some hits and some good at bats, and as we saw in that fourth inning where they were able to load the bases, you can put yourself in position to make something good happen. Now, of course, Miles was not able to put the cricket number on the board in that fourth inning, only getting the run on the hit by pitch against the Johnny Lions. But you start putting yourself in those positions, and chances are, you're going to be able to capitalize on them. Miles has not won a series. Golden Bears have not won a game since the 5-4 win over Spring Hill nearly 3 weeks ago. Talking with some of the Edward Waters players during the first game, they come out here. They love to see and play in places here like Rickwood as that ball is bounced towards third. It's a fair ball. In fact, it looks like they're going to call it a foul ball. The third base umpire called that a fair ball. But until that crosses third base, that is the home plate umpire's call, and the umpire made the right call. That ball was foul. Not amazingly, as you see this happen a whole lot, head coach Reginald Johnson comes out for Edward Waters. He wants an explanation. He said it was called fair. He's ready to be out of the inning. But as I just explained, it was not the third base umpire's call. It was the home plate umpire's call. And he said it was foul. See if Trey Walker can make the Tigers pay. And he does. Big breaking ball, and it seemed to maybe have missed a little bit inside. But it's going to be a 2-out walk for Trey Walker. Malachi Jeffries got a chance to pinch hit in the ninth for the Golden Bears, went 0 for 1. But let's see if getting that at bat in the last game can kind of spark some things here in game 2. And Jeffries hitting under 200. Batting average down to 192, but can get on base at a pretty decent clip. 362 on base percentage. That ball is lined, but Nunez goes up the ladder and pulls it in. Perfect hit and run, thwarted by a great leaping play by Luis Nunez. Golden Bears get a 2-out walk, leave that runner stranded. We've played 2. It's Edward Waters 1, Miles 0. Set to start the top of the third inning with Edward Waters on top 1-0. Dannon Smith to lead off here for Edward Waters. Slaps the first pitch into center field for a base hit. Bring up Rodriguez. He grounded out in the first inning. Keep our eye on Dannon Smith. We saw Jordan Smith get him a bag. You're going to keep an eye on Dannon Smith because as good as Jordan is, Dannon has been a lot better. 28 of 34 in the stolen base department. Now he takes off. Throw from Whitehead. Here's the throw. He beats it. Whitehead short hop that just a bit. I'm going to say no swing there. Rodriguez able to lay off the high fastball. I think Johnson was trying to get the third base umpire to give his own opinion of it. Smith takes off again, fired down the third, and it's going to go into left field. And Smith is going to create a run all his own. It's now 2-0 Edward Waters. Count full to Rodriguez. Dannon Smith gets to 30 stolen bases on the season. And now Rodriguez walks. Bring up Calvin Scott. Rodriguez does not look like a big base runner. And in fact, he has not attempted a stolen base all season long. But I guess Daryl Johnson is of the thought that he does not want the first one to come against him. So he's going to keep Rodriguez close to first. In on the hands a bit. Catch made at second by Jeffries for the first out. Caraciola walked. In the first. 2-0 your score. Edward Waters run in the first, run here in the third. Later in the ball game, Miles had trouble finishing off the Edward Waters hitters once they got ahead with 2 strikes. Be a fine time here for Johnson to lock in and try to get some of these outs without wasting too many pitches. But Caraciola is not going to make it that easy for him as he fouls the pitch back. These two teams will close out the series tomorrow. Single 9-inning game at 11 o'clock Central Time. Ball in the hole is short. What a play. Out at shortstop by Anderson. He was not going to have a play over at second. Makes the throw from deep in the hole to take down Caracciolo. Johnson struck out to end the first and take strike one here. Quickly ahead, 0-2. Whitehead, Wessels, and Span all due up for the Golden Bears in the third. And they call a balk against Johnson. Johnson kind of has an interesting windup. He brings his arm around, and he kind of waggles, but you got to set before you throw the pitch. And he does it so much, you almost assume that the umpires have kind of figured it out, that, hey, this is what he does. And now they call another balk. He did the same thing he's been doing the entire time. And this time it turns into another run for Edward Waters. I can guarantee you Johnson has been doing that all season long. Sometimes that's a coach pointing something out to an umpire saying, hey, you may want to look at this here. Other times that's just an umpire saying, hey, I've never liked watching watching him do that, and if he keeps doing it, I'm going to get him. But I can assure you, it's happened in every game all season long. Swing and a miss. Johnson goes down on strikes for the second time this game, but 2 runs on just 1 hit, and there are 2 balks. No one left on base. We go to the bottom of the third. It's Edward Waters 3, Miles 0. Bottom of the third. Landon Whitehead will lead off, and he takes strike 1. 3-0 your score. Edward Waters on top. Consecutive balks by Daryl Johnson led to a second run in the third. And just to let you know, Daryl Johnson came into this game with exactly 0 balks. How you get not called for a single balk all season long and then have 2 of them called on back-to-back pitches. Yeah, somebody gave umpire a tip. That's all I can come up with. I don't know who it was, but that's too easy to see. Count even at 1. Miles will have to fight back from that. Whitehead squibs one. He's going to, in fact, they said he hit it off of his foot. That's why it's squibbed, and that's probably not the most pleasant feeling that Whitehead has had here today. You're the catcher, and sometimes you take some off your shin and off your arms, off your hands. Although he played the first game at second base, he's probably ready to go back out in the field as opposed to taking foul balls off. But that time it happened as a hitter. Umpire gives him a couple of moments to kind of recompose himself, and he's back in the box down 1-2. Golden Bears in the throes of an 8-game losing streak. Whitehead grounds to short. Smith, Dannon Smith, throws him out. Bring up Miles Wessels. Wessels has been in a bit of an extended slump. He was hitting at the top of the lineup. Shows bunt. First pitch is a strike. Hitting leadoff. He's one player of the weeks. Average, though, down to 254. A 1 home run, 20 driven in. Miles not a big home run hitting team. Wessels, Birch, and Antoine Jackson have the only home runs for the Golden Bears. And that time Wessels is hit by a pitch, and he'll take first base. Miles is a team that likes to run and run a lot. Wessels, one of the top guys out there to do that, 22 of 24 in the stolen base department. But in this, conservative offensive funk, the opportunities to run have not quite been there. And when you're behind by big numbers, it's pretty tough to get those opportunities as well. As Span fouls the first pitch. Wessels takes off. He's going to steal second. Again, stolen base number 23 for Miles Wessels. That pitch is in the dirt. Will that pitch get down? No, Nunez able to get back and make the play. And that's out number 2. Golden Bears just looking for a big hit somewhere. Maybe it's Michael Smith who'll be able to deliver that. 2 outs. Runner in scoring position for the Golden Bears. Smith out to left and out of play. Count even 1-1. Wessels was inching around, away from second a little too much, and Cabrera decided to wheel and throw. Sometimes as the runner at second, any runner on base, you want to get that pitcher out of his rhythm. Make him pay more attention to you than the batter in the box. They're going to throw it back down. Is Wessels out? He is. Wessels caught a little too far off the bag, and that's going to end the inning for the Golden Bears. We've played 3. It's 3-0, Edward Waters. We'll be back. Into the fourth we go. Luis Nunez will lead off for Edward Waters. Shows bunt, gets the bunt down. Roston had trouble getting it out of his glove, and it's going to be an infield single on the bunt for Luis Nunez. It was a good bunt, not a great one. Caleb Roston got there, but could not get a grip on it. Ends up being an infield single. DeCesare shows bunt. Pulls it back for ball 1. Still showing bunt. In and on his hands. Whitehead went to go get it. and he can't control it. Now you've got runners on first and second. Nobody out. Jordan Smith to the plate. He wore one off his front leg in the second. Smith shows bunt, but he bunts it foul. That pitch in for a strike. You see Johnson, he's hesitating just that extra second, maybe even more pronounced than that extra second, maybe 2 seconds before he delivers the ball. Brings it around. Now he's counting. 1, 2. Nunez dives back in the second. After this weekend, Miles has 9 conference games left. 3 at home against Tuskegee. 3 at Albany State. And 3 at home against Benedict. Including today and tomorrow, Miles has to find about 4 or 5 wins in there to ensure a spot in the tournament. Another strikeout for Johnson for the first out of the inning. Four strikeouts for Daryl Johnson. Donaldson Fountain comes to the plate. He's walked and struck out, scored a run. Flares one out to left. Catch made by Michael Smith for the second out. And now Dannon Smith to the plate. Single, stole second, stole third, came home on a bad throw. As Johnson pumps strike one in there. Swing and a miss. It's clear Johnson has that good strikeout stuff. Again, 3 walks. He's hit a couple of batters. That pitch is fouled off. That's the part he's kind of got to rein in, giving those free passes. You know, teams are going to make their way on base by hitting the ball, and if they get hits, then you give them the credit for that. But it's a lot harder to justify when you're walking and hitting batters and giving extra outs, extra opportunities to give up runs. But he's ahead 0-2 here. Going to get the ground ball. Roston's going to go the short way to second, and that will end the top of the fourth. A couple hitters get on for Edward Waters, but they're left stranded. We go to the bottom of the fourth. It's Edward Waters on top of Miles, 3-0. Bottom of the fourth here from historic Rickwood Field. Beautiful day for a ball game. Beautiful day to try to get some runs on the board, and that's what the Golden Bears are going to try to do here in the bottom of the fourth. Michael Smith to lead off against Helsom Cabrera. Smith was in the batter's box when Miles Wessels was picked off of second. And Cariciolo takes care of Michael Smith for the first out. Elijah Anderson, he's 0 for 1 trying to get untracked here. His at-bats have gotten better throughout the day, just looking for a hit to kind of justify all of that hard work as that first pitch is in for a strike. And this one takes in the backside and will take his way right to first base. I was talking with one of my old teammates. I hadn't spoken with him in a while, and you meet people on Facebook and start to ask the question, "Hey, do you even remember who I am? I haven't played baseball in over 30 years." And he's like, "Yeah, I remember you." He said, "You're the guy who kept getting." He said, "I can't remember the school, but they kept throwing over to first base, and the guy kept tagging you hard in the back, and you were ready to get up and fight, and we were going to fight with you." It's quite the way to be remembered. Those are good old days. We played baseball the same way with no social media. I don't even think we had a scoreboard. We just, whoever had the book was the one who kept the score. That pitch is in for strike two. No one streamed our games. Joe Raspberry, that's his name. Big Texan. Snap throw to first. Imagine going to Texas. Like I had only been one other time, and that's when I went on my tour to see where I was going to go to school at. And never having seen a fire ant before. Normally you see ants at home and, you just step on them. It was not a problem. You didn't just step on the ants down in Texas. They had something for you. I learned very quickly that you don't mess with the ants in Texas. Strikeout swinging there for Caleb Raston. That's out number 2. Gregory Willis will get an opportunity to try to extend this inning for the Golden Bears. And that ball's going to get away on the pickoff. Anderson's going to hold at second. Another runner in scoring position here for the Golden Bears. Another throw down. This time Anderson gets back. Miles is at the bottom of the SIAC in team batting average. Cabrera, another one back to the mound, and he easily throws it over to first. And that will retire the side. Golden Bears get another runner in scoring position, unable to cash him in. We played 4. It's 3-0, Edward Waters. Here in the top of the fifth, A.A. Moore on the Golden Bears Sports Network, where Edward Waters leads 3-0. Golden Bears with just one hit. In the college game, 3 runs tends not to be an insurmountable total. But as we've talked about here in this game and in the first game, Miles is not averaging 2 runs a game over its last 8. Counts 2-1. Johnson at 72 pitches. Here as we start the fifth. Tried to go upstairs after not getting some of those calls low, and Rodriguez will earn a leadoff walk here in the fifth. Milton Barney out on the mound having a discussion with his junior pitcher. Johnson's done pretty good. He's given up 3 runs, 2 of them earned. The unearned run was allegedly his fault. Yeah, I said allegedly. Yeah. Man who's been pitching the same way all season long gets called on balks on back-to-back pitches. Miles has done a pretty good job holding one of the most potent offenses in the SIAC at bay. I say that's a swing for strike 2. And that's just kind of a microcosm of what's happened to the Golden Bears today. Good pitch, Scott, very weak contact. Johnson was going to try to make a play on it, and he's like, it's probably smarter to let my second baseman handle it. And the second baseman just could not get there in time. First and second. Still nobody out. Cariciolo comes to the plate for the Tigers. He's showing bunt. Fouls it back for strike 1. Something tells me that this is not something Cariciolo does a lot. And by look at the statistics, he's laid down 1 sacrifice bunt this season. Raston gets it, fires to first, and guess what? That's 2 for Cariciolo. Amazing when you don't need someone's permission to do the things that you're supposed to do. LeGarrette Johnson now at the plate. 0 for 2. He struck out twice. Another big swing and miss. He's been swinging right over the curveball. It's pretty much set him up the same way. Show him the fastball, beat him with the curve. There's the fastball. And if he does what he's been doing all afternoon, the big curve is coming next. There it is, but he doesn't get the call. I imagine you have to throw it again. He hasn't gotten close to hitting that curveball. You just got to spot it. That was another curve. It just wasn't one of his best, and Johnson was able to foul it off. I'd still throw it one more time. I think Johnson knows it's coming too. Considering that we've got a Johnson on the mound and a Johnson at a plate, the question is, which Johnson knew it was coming? It's quite obvious the pitcher knows it's coming. Can LeGarrette Johnson get to it? There's the curve, and he still does not get the call. It's going to be ball 4, and it's going to load the bases. Luis Nunez will come up. Bases loaded, nowhere else to put them. Johnson could use a strikeout here. I'm sure he'd take a double play ball as well. There's a good breaking ball for strike 2. Roston's going to come home for 1. Takes the sure out. I have not seen Nunez try to pull a pitch all day. It's been inside out swinging. Caleb Raston stayed right where he was supposed to. Makes the play at home for the second out. DeCesare to the plate. Base is still full of Tigers. '90th pitch there for Daryl Johnson. DeCesare out to left. Michael Smith brings it in. Edward Waters loads the bases again. This time, no one scores. One hit, 3 runners left on base. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Tigers on top of the Golden Bears, 3-0. A.A. Moore, the Golden Bears Sports Network, here at historic Rickwood Field, bottom of the 5th inning. Miles, just 1 hit through 4, trailing 3-0. Trey Walker takes the first pitch up and in. Cabrera misses again, 2-0. Cabrera just went over 50 pitches at 52 as we start the 5th. Walker flies it out to right, and he will be the first out here in the bottom of the 5th. Malachi Jeffries 0 for 1. Edward Waters playing Jeffrey straight away all over. As Cabrera misses there with ball 2. Really not playing in to take away the bunt. Off the line a bit at third. Another ball in on the hands, fouled off to the right. Jeffries is going to run the count full. That pitch misses down and away for ball 4. And Jeffries is on. He hasn't hit for a lot, but he does a good job of getting on base. Let's see if he can help turn this into some runs for the Golden Bears. Cabrera mostly been breezing through this ball game. Again, only allowed 1 hit, 2 walks, and struck out 3. Whitehead bangs one, and it's going to get all the way to the wall. Jeffries is getting waved home. Here comes the throw from the plate. He's going to be in standing up. And Whitehead with a laser double into left. And Miles is on the board. And I mean, Whitehead was right on top of that fastball. It was a rope in the left. Nothing that Jordan Smith could do out there but try to chase it down. He did keep it from going to the wall. But once Jeffries got on the move, there was not going to be any stopping him. He scored standing up. And now the tying run is at the plate. Miles Wessels. Swing and a miss. That pitch misses outside, 2-1. Another miss, 3-1. Count full. Whitehead with a leadoff second. Count full, 1 out. Top of the order, Trace Spann in the on-deck circle. Cabrera really in the first trouble he's been in, and he's going to miss inside. He's going to hit Wessels on the hand. Ball 4 hit by pitch. I'm sure Wessels would have rather just, he missed inside. He didn't want to take that pitch off of his fingertips, but that's what happened. He makes it to first. And Miles continues to cook here in the 5th. Again, Cabrera had not been in any kind of real trouble before this inning. Got the first out. He walked Jeffries, gives up a double to Whitehead, and now he hits Miles Wessels. First and second, 1 out. And again, Trace Spann is the hitter. Trace has had some good at-bats. Makes you wonder if Coach Barney is going to consider trying to get a sacrifice here and get an even hotter Michael Smith to the plate. And now there's going to be a meeting at the mound for Edward Waters. Really the first signs of life from this offense in a little while. They had loaded the bases with nobody out in the fourth inning of the first game and only got one. I think in the sixth as well, they put 2 runners on. Make it the seventh, they put 2 runners on. But have not been many sustained scoring opportunities for the Golden Bears. Only 2 innings during this 8-game streak. First bunt is fouled off. Only twice have they scored more than 1 in a particular inning. This is the longest losing streak for the Golden Bears since 2014. Miles lost 9 straight. In fact, that hits Span, and now the bases are loaded. Barney gets what he wants in a different kind of way. He wanted those runners at second and third, knowing Michael Smith has got the hottest bat on the team right now. Base hit here, probably scores 2 and ties this game, but we're not going to get a chance to see Cabrera try to get these outs. Reginald Johnson comes out to the mound, and Cabrera's afternoon is over. New pitcher coming in for Edward Waters. We'll see who it is when he gets to the mound, and when we come back, Miles with a chance to make some weight here in this game, trailing 3-1 in the bottom of the 5th. I just take what they. New pitcher in. It's Ty Mitzel. His 10th appearance, he has 2 saves. First pitch misses away. Ball 1. Mitzel has pitched 11 and 2/3 innings with a 3.86 ERA. He has struck out 14 in those 11 and 2/3. They're bringing him in to try to put the fire out here in the 5th. That pitch is away. Ball 2. 1 out. Bases loaded. Golden Bears trying to take advantage of some wildness. It's been a walk, 2-hit batsman. The only hit, Landon Whitehead. That pitch popped up on the infield fly. The batter is out. And that's a tough second out right there. Pitcher had not yet shown that he could get it in the strike zone. Smith thought he saw something that he liked. But Mitzel gets good movement. And that was right off of the end of the bat. Infield fly rule is called. Elijah Anderson is going to have to come through here for Miles. This one lofted out into short left, and just that quick, Dannon Smith. And 4 pitches later, Edward Waters is out of the jam. 1 run, 1 hit for the Golden Bears. They leave 3. We've played 5. It's Edward Waters 3, Miles 1. We'll be back. Top of the 6th inning, A. Moore and D. Jackson with Action Unlimited. Does a great job with all the sights and sounds, but, man, he just tries to get me in trouble all the time. But that's okay. Does a good job here for the Golden Bears. Grounded to short, and Anderson took all day. Jordan Smith with outstanding speed. It was just too easy. Got a base hit off of that. More of a mental error. And again, Elijah Anderson has not spent much time at all at shortstop for the Golden Bears, but the clock has to move. He handled that ball as if the catcher, the third string catcher, was running down the line. Donaldson Fountain. I said it was a 9-game losing streak back in 2014. It was actually 8. One of those losses was an exhibition against the Birmingham Barons. I don't think we count those. And back in 2014. So it's 8 straight. There was also an 8-game streak. Johnson makes the play at first on the sacrifice, 1-3. Bring up Dannon Smith. Miles has had 2 golden opportunities, 1 in each game. Bases loaded. Chance to do some real damage. And ends up leaving them loaded both times. There's a shot out to left field. And it's going to be Michael Smith with the catch for out number 2. Jordan Smith stole that again on Daryl Johnson. Still trying to keep Edward Waters right here. Needing to get this third out. Don't want Jordan Smith to score. Daryl Johnson's 100th pitch should come right here. And that catches the outside edge. Fastball misses away. Count full to Rodriguez. Swing and a miss. And Johnson gets out of trouble here in the top of the 6th. That's strikeout number 5 for the junior. We go to the bottom of the frame. Miles needing 2 to tie, trailing 3-1. Middle of the lineup for the Golden Bears here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Caleb Raston will lead it off. Muscles one foul for strike one. Golden Bears need a couple of base runners here. Trying to make something happen against the top reliever, Ty Mitzel. You look at these teams in conference play. As that misses outside and the count runs full 3-2. Edward Waters again the number 2 hitting team. Number 4 in pitching. Miles Moore middle of the pack. That ERA is over 9 for the Golden Bears. Swing and a miss, and Raston is gone for out number 1. First strikeout for Mitzel this afternoon. Willis 0 for 2. Willis on a line, but right to the center field. Donaldson Fountain, who makes the catch for the second out. Trey Walker looking to get untracked here. 0 for 1 with a walk. Mitzel's kind of got that 3/4 near sidearm type action. Good change up there. Walker flares it out to right, but foul. Walker looking to keep this inning alive. The 1-2. Goes down swinging on the big breaking pitch. And the Golden Bears go down in order in the 6th. 1 inning to go. Edward Waters up 3-1, looking to complete the sweep when we come back. We've reached the 7th inning. Some early runs have held up for Edward Waters, leading 3-1 over Miles. Calvin Scott set the lead off 2 for 3, has driven in a run. That first pitch misses way outside for Johnson. We've reached the 5 o'clock hour locally here in Birmingham. Plenty of sunlight. Little daylight savings time, and the way the calendar moves helps us a lot out here as that pitch is in for a strike. In February at 5 o'clock, we're done. Gets kind of hard to see out here at 5 o'clock in February, even in early March, but we won't have any of those problems here today, I would imagine. That ball is smoked out to right center, but it's going to be hauled in by Miles Wessels for the first out. Andres Cariciolo comes to the plate. Seven stolen bases in this game for Edward Waters, and Cariciolo actually has one of them. Ground ball up the middle. Jeffries gets it, fires to first, and that's out number 2. Johnson has kept his team in the game. He's only given up 5 hits. All of them singles. A lot of times you have performances like this and you're in the running for pitcher of the week. Golden Bears going to have to try to find a way to get some runs in the 7th to extend this ball game, or maybe even put an end to it with 3 in the bottom of the 7th. Another curveball that Legarius Johnson had some trouble with. 2-2. And in fact, looked like the home plate umpire may have caught the brunt of that foul ball a little bit. Trainer out. Probably just need a little time to walk that off. You've seen the remake of The Longest Yard. There's a particular line in that movie that may be a bit apropos for what just happened in this ball game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, hey, go check it out. I'm not going to tell you. But it looks like everyone is okay. We're going to get ready to get back to business here. Two and two count. Let's see if we see another curveball here. We do, and L'Garius Johnson could not do anything with it as he strikes out for the third time today. Up and down go the Tigers in the seventh. Let's see if the Golden Bears have what it takes to get back into this ball game. 3 outs to go. 3-1, Edward Waters on top. We'll be back. Bottom of the seventh, Golden Bears have 3 outs to play with. It's Malachi Jeffries who will lead it off. Mitchell will step off. He's allowed only 6 runs all year. Miles needs to find a way to get at least 2, if not 3. He's certainly been a strike thrower outside of the first 2. Jeffries, is it going to get down? No, it's going to be caught by Jordan Smith for out number 1. Landon Whitehead comes up. RBI double in the 5th. Pitch just a bit off the mark. Miles Wessels is on deck. Against this guy, you kind of think middle away on the approach. He's been banging the outer half all afternoon. Another pitch on that outer half for strike two. A lot of times you try to pull that, you're going to pop in the air or you're going to roll over on it. Throws another slider, and that's the end of Whitehead's at bat. Miles Wessels, the last hope here for the Golden Bears. Another strike by Mitzel. Tough swing there by Wessels, and Golden Bears down to their final strike. Nearly ended it with a called strike three, but Wessels is still alive. That time it's called strike three, and that's your ball game. Golden Bears had one golden opportunity, unable to cash in more than one run in the fifth inning, and they fall 3-1 here to Edward Waters. For the Tigers, 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error, left 9 on base. For the Golden Bears, 1 run, 2 hits, 3 errors. They left 5 on base. Your winning pitcher for Edward Waters, Helson Cabrera, he's now 4-2. And in fact, that's not going to be a win for Cabrera. Cabrera did not make it through the requisite 5 innings. So the win will go in relief to Ty Mitzel. And it's going to be his first win of the season. Tough luck loser. It's going to be Daryl Johnson, who pitched a complete game for the Golden Bears. Gave up 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. Walked 5 and struck out 6. But with the loss, he falls to 3-3. Golden Bears, 9th consecutive loss. They fall to 10-12 in conference play. 17-15 overall. Golden Bears will be back here at Rickwood Field on tomorrow as they close out this series against Edward Waters. First pitch is at 11 o'clock. Go to milesgoldenbears.com to find out how you can follow all the action. Again, your final score in the second game of this doubleheader, Edward Waters takes down Miles 3-1. For D. Jackson and Action Unlimited, I'm A.A. Moore. We thank you for joining us this afternoon here on the Golden Bears Sports Network.